This is Knox. He's a 4-year-old miniature horse. Miniature horses are different than Shetland ponies. Shetland ponies are a pony that have their own brain. They are rough, tough, like a Tonka truck. That's how I explain them to everybody, because people a lot of times get them confused and they get scared of him because they think he might be a Shetland pony. This is as big as he's gonna get. The only thing that he will get is fatter. So I do try to watch his weight, but we're a little on the chubby side right now, so excuse him for that. But Knox is a therapy horse. What he does is he goes around to bring people joy and happiness. And he deals with children who have special needs. He deals with nursing homes with older people. He goes in and kisses all of them and loves them. He goes to hospice, and I know y'all don't know what that is, but it's when people are really sick. And so their family members are there, and we go and bring Knox in. A lot of times they're sleeping, and if they're sleeping, I take their hand and rub it on Knox's head. Sometimes they start smiling and looking forward, opening their eyes and saying a horse, and talking about that they had a horse as a kid and this, that, and the other. A lot of times their family members haven't heard these stories, or they've heard them before, and it brings a smile to their face. So it brings the family members some happiness. It brings the patient some happiness, because he goes in, he kisses the patients, and this is his favorite scratchy spot. If you see me scratching him and he's smiling, it's because he loves it. So I do scratch him a good bit right there so he can, oh yes, he just loves it. But what Knox does is he starts off his morning by getting grain. And that's kind of like everybody eating breakfast. If you eat cereal or whatever you eat for breakfast, that's his breakfast. Then from there, he will do exercises. We do exercises at least 5 times a week with him, whether it's we go Lowe's, Home Depot, but right now we're not going to any of those places. We're staying at the barn. But we go to all kind of different places just to get him to interact with different events, different types of things, different people. He can go up elevators, escalators, climb stairs, and he loves to do all those things. He likes to, when we get out of that trailer, he knows that he is going to work and he's going to make some people happy and smile. And so what he does, so he has a brother, and him and his brother get out in the mornings, and I exercise them both. That can go from me running with them, literally running with them, and his brother's fast and he's slow. So one's pulling me in, one's running behind, And we do the exercises. I lunge them, which is making them run around their area by themselves. They have 2 paddocks, and a paddock is where they go to eat. And so they'll go, I put him out now at night because it's summer and it's so hot. So during the day, he stays in his stall. Him and his brother have a stall that is probably from this wall right here all the way over to here, and probably about from here all the way to here long. So they've got a huge area for 2 little dudes. His brother's a little bit bigger than him, but like I said, an area for 2 little dudes. That's their bedroom that they share. And he eats hay, he eats grain in the morning, and he has hay. He has tons of hay. He's got a hay bag, him and his brother share. And so they eat that in the morning and during the day. And then at night, they go outside and they eat grass in their paddock. So he gets to be a horse and have horse time. I always give him horse time because just like kids, every kid needs playtime. He needs his horse time. Knox is a very sweet horse. I've taught him to kiss. Can I kiss? Thank you, buddy. Have another one? Thank you. Knox, shake. Nice to meet you. And he only shakes on this one hand. He will not shake on this other side. We tried. He doesn't do it. Say, that's just something he doesn't do. We don't do birthday parties. The reason is I want to keep him in the mindset of making people happy and kissing and loving them, and it's an enjoyable event, Yeah. So we do all kind of other things. We do a lot of special need programs. We do the ponytails, which we're missing y'all this year. Hopefully next year we'll all be back and see each other again. But what Knox does is when you have come to a ponytail event, Sometimes they read a story about a little horse or a unicorn, ponies, and yes, and the kids listen to it, and then everybody gets to take a picture with Knox. So he wears these shoes, and I know everybody's curious about his shoes. He wears these shoes so that when we go in places that he doesn't slip. And he wears Build-A-Bear shoes. And I'm just modify them a little bit to make them so that they don't slip when he's on the ground. But he doesn't mind the shoes at all. I tell him to give me his foot, and I put the shoe on and tie him, no problems. He has boots, he has cowboy hats. Knox has all kinds of things. He wears little hearts for Valentine's Day. Any event, there's something, he will wear it. He is very easygoing, likes to make people look at him and say, oh, what a pretty boy he is. So that's always something really sweet because he loves the attention. But like I said, he does just certain things so that he can bring smiles to people's face. So Knox is a rare thing, but you can work with your minis or your horse and get them to do this. Dogs are good for therapy for people. They use a lot of therapy dogs. Knox is actually the first therapy mini that's certified in Louisiana. So he had to go through testing, and he went through testing that they give to dogs to be certified because they don't have a miniature horse class. So I had to follow the rules that dogs do. He follows commands. He walks, he stops, he stands. The only thing he failed on his test, he got 98, was they threw a stuffed animal on the ground, and he picks it up and shakes it like, look what I got. And so like, he's not supposed to pick that up. I'm like, he's never seen a stuffed animal before. And they're like, what do you mean? He lives in a barn. He doesn't live with me, he lives in a barn. So he actually lives at a barn, and I drive there every day, twice a day, morning and afternoon, to take care of him and his brothers. Like I said, I do have the 2 minis and the 2 big boys. 2 big boys came later, and that's just for me for fun. But Knox is always fun. I call him a barn brat because he is a brat at the barn. But as soon as he gets in the car, the trailer, he knows it's work time. So he knows that he's gonna go see kids or adults, and he's gonna love them. And he likes what he does. He enjoys his work. And you can tell because he usually smiles. Now he does smile when he's being bad at the barn. He's smiling as he's doing it. Now I do braid his tail most of the time when we go places. One, because it keeps it from flying around and getting caught in a door or somebody pulling on it. He wouldn't do anything if you pulled on it. He doesn't care because I've raised him that he's not gonna care. But it's not nice to go and pull his tail. It's like somebody pulling your ear. So I don't, do that, but he's trained that he won't hurt you. He is 4, so he gets bored. Just like all you kids get bored, he wants to move around. So I walk him around, but as you see, he's standing a good bit. If there's a bunch of kids here, he wants to go and look at them and kiss them, so I have to kind of make him stand away, and sometimes he wants to get over there and smooch them. So that's always something.
How long did it take for him to do his training?
His training took me, I got him when he was 6 months old, and we started going places when he was about 1 year and 2 months. So every day I worked with him for 5 hours, every day. And it was whether I was teaching him how to walk, how to do things. Now, he is potty trained, but he is an animal and he has accidents. We cross our fingers and hope for not to have an accident. Sometimes they happen, but he's pretty good at it. You bring him outside like a dog and he TTs. You tell him to TT and he TTs. The bathroom part, he does his other business in the trailer, so that's taken care of before he gets there, so we don't have to worry about that. Not too often does he have an accident that way. Sometimes it's a TT accident, but not too often. We try to keep that to a minimum, huh, Knox? Huh? We're a big boy. We're working on potty training, huh? Yep. So I don't tend to wet the place. So that's really neat that he's potty trained. And a lot of times I see therapy pets and they'll have bags behind them so that they catch anything. Well, I don't put a bag behind him because he does it already, and so he's clean and there's no issue there. So that's always something that's good for people and kids, or the hygienic reason. Like I said, it took me, 6 months to train him, and it was working with him every day. And I got his brother not too long after that. I got his brother when his brother was 3 months old. The breeder gave him to me early because she knew I had him. I researched where I got him from really hard. It took me 2 years, and I got him out of Dallas, Texas, and the woman raises minis. And her minis are all about his size. His brother is larger, and it's a strange thing because she has his parents and grandparents, and none of them are as tall as his brother Kai. That's Knox's brother. So Kai will learn how to we're trying to work on learning to pull a cart. We hadn't got the cart yet. We're just learning just things because he is my wild child. Not like his brother Knox. What else? Ask me some other questions.
Let's see. When you were researching therapy animals, what made you decide to go with a miniature horse?
Because of the endorphins, the happiness hormone that is released to your brain. My son has autism, and horse therapy is really good for kids with disabilities. So we tried equine therapy lessons, and that's where he gets on a horse and rides. We went to 5 places, 3 times each. He wouldn't touch the horse, get on the horse. He wasn't near the horse. I rode the horse, showed him how great the horse was, and did all that. He didn't want any part of it. And I had a friend that said, why don't you come by and let him play with my minis? I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, he would be he would enjoy it. So I brought him there, and Camden fell in love with the minis. So that's one thing I researched. I wanted a breeder who interacted with her horses that didn't just, have, we're not going to get peppermints. If y'all are wondering, he's got peppermints in that bag, and he gets them. Those are Tic Tacs, I believe. He eats Altoids, whatever. He gets them before we go into place so he has fresh breath. But sometimes he walks in and he's got the mint in his mouth and he's sucking on it. So his tongue sticks out and you can hear little sucking noises. It's just really cute. He also eats carrots, he eats apples. Every Sunday morning, all of them get 2 donut holes each from the donut shop. So they all get their 2 donut holes, and they know Sunday. They have their calendar, they know Sunday is their day. They get apples, carrots, they eat grapes, they eat watermelon, but they love junk food. They love chips. The only thing that all of mine don't eat is gummy bears, jelly beans, and celery. Don't know. I have 4 horses and none of them eat it. But all of mine eat junk. So I try to keep their junk to a minimum because of weight gain. It's not healthy if you have a mini who's overweight. He's actually maybe 30 pounds overweight. He needs to lose a little weight. Yeah, smile for him. But he's not bad. Now, during the winter, you think, oh my gosh, my horse is so fat. But they grow hair, and their hair grows. So when you shave off their hair, you realize, oh, they weren't as fat as I thought they were. Not as bad. So you always try to keep up with that just to keep them healthy, because if they get overweight, it could cause different types of health problems. And so we try to watch it. But I'm bad about giving treats. I am bad about that. But my son is bad about it too. If he's eating something and he sees them, he'll go and ask them, hey, y'all want some? And he gives them some. So, but he helps walk them, and he'll ride his bicycle, and they follow along with him, and he carries the lead. So our barn is big enough that he can ride. It's a huge barn. And so he can ride there. He's actually at Stone Farms on Grandma Springs Road, and they have all kind of horses. They have race horses that come through there. They have all types of horses. And a lot of times large horses walk up and see him, and they squeal. They let out the loudest noise you've ever heard. It's because they are scared to death of him. They are literally scared. Some of them will, after a while, some of them will eventually learn, okay, he's a horse. He smells like one, he smells like one, he kind of looks like one. Okay, he's a horse, and they'll accept it. But it takes some of them a little while to realize. He doesn't go in a field with big horses because he could get hurt. Him and his brother stay together in their own little paddock where their grass is. And I say it's little, it's not little, it's as big as this room. And so they have their own area. He sees the big horses whenever we're walking around the barn. Back up, back up, back up. Back up, sorry. Nope, back up. See, he follows commands. He knows what I'm telling him. Horses have a memory, they say, longer than an elephant. So if you're mean to them or you correct them, and sometimes they might say, I don't like that. Just like a little kid, like y'all would. And you have to tell them, no, this is why. In a sense, a horse sense. You tell them, this is how we're doing it. He tries to walk himself sometimes. He likes to walk his brother. He'll take his brother's lead and walk him for me. But like I said, big horses are scared of him. I have two bigger horses, and they know that the minis are their brothers, if they belong to their pack. So the big horses, my big horses, actually will walk up to him if I have him out, tied up, and I'm doing something. They'll walk up to him and give him a kiss and love on him, nuzzle him. So that isn't an issue. But like I said, a lot of times big horses, the bigger they are, usually the louder the scream is, because it's like a mouse. They just think like an elephant with a mouse. Here, walk it. Here, take it.
Has he had much experience with other animal species other than horses?
Oh, yes. He loves dogs. When we go to some nursing homes, they have dogs there on the premises, whether they're the patients there or just a dog that lives there. And he loves on the dogs. He doesn't have a problem with them. Most of the dogs, I've only had one dog snap at him. Most of the other dogs just like will kiss him, and he'll kiss them back. So it's kind of a mutual thing that they've like each other. He's been around other minis. He's been around goats. He's been around chickens. We got chickens at our barn. We've got a pig at our barn. He don't like the pig so much, but the pig is really rough and really mean. That's all I can say. Pig was nice when he got there, but pig is not nice now. So we've got all kind of animals at our barn. Kids do come to the barn sometimes for therapy sessions. They come and they take him for walks, and we have certain training. We go around cones. We do different things with him, showing him different ways to go, different places. And like I said, he does all that on a normal day. With kids, he will walk around with a therapy session. And a therapy session is just you sitting there with Knox, petting him, talking to him, telling him about your life, what you like, what you don't like, who's nice to you, who's mean to you. Whatever your thoughts are is what you're telling Knox. And he won't tell your secrets. And I don't either, because I'm not listening, because it's your time, not mine. So he has his session with you, and the only thing I'm there for is to help walk him around and lead him. So like I said, he's good at keeping secrets. He's got a lot of good ones, but he won't tell me. So we're good.
So we just saw him stamp his foot. Can you talk about a little bit like his communicating with you?
Yes. Sometimes, like if he's bored, he will stomp his front foot a couple times at me, and that just means I'm bored, I want to move, I'm tired, this is boring, let's go. Just like y'all do. You get tired of that. So he wants to move certain things. That might have been his tail, might have been tickling the back of his leg, and that's why he stomped his foot, because his tail caught it. I recently just trimmed his tail a little bit. You have to trim their tails because they get so long, and if they step on it, it could cause back problems. So I don't cut it off, but trim it just enough. And so he always wears a ponytail. A lot of times he wears it around the barn too. He don't like his bangs in his face. His brother don't want a ponytail. He loves to have his mane brushed, but he don't want the ponytail. Knox loves the ponytail. So everybody laughs at him because you see a mini walking through the barn, and he usually looks like that. So he wears his ponytail and he walks around. You want that back on? Do you want it? Yes? No?
You mentioned he has multiple outfits and he gets to pick sometimes?
Yes. Knox has 9 pairs of shoes, and I put his shoes out. I lay them out in my room, and I let him pick, and he'll go and put his nose on them. And that's his way of telling me which shoes he wants to wear. Sometimes he'll pick the same shoes twice in a row. Sometimes. But other times, he'll pick different shoes. If he picks cowboy boots that day, guess what? We're going country whether I wanted to or not. Some people laugh because they're like, oh, you got on Converse, and he does too. Sometimes it's meant purposely, sometimes it's an accident. But like I said, sometimes he likes to go country, and I'm not wearing boots that day because it's hot and I'm not putting on boots. But he'll wear his little boots and his cowboy hat, and he's happy with it. He wears hearts during the summer. For Valentine's Day. He wears little candy corns for Halloween. He does get dressed up for Halloween, and he did trick-or-treating with Central this past year, and kids would come and take a picture with him and get some candy, but we had problems because he kept wanting to get in their buckets and steal their candy. And then I made the mistake of giving him too many Skittles, and he was wired like a hyper little kid. So you know how you eat too much candy and your mom tells you to stop? Well, I didn't tell him to stop, and he had too many. He was hyper.
What's his favorite costume?
That's hard to say because he actually likes all of them. The least favorite, I guess, is he's got a dragon. That's him sneezing, if y'all are wondering. Yes, they sneeze. They'll cough. They have allergies just like people. Sometimes they have to take sinus medicine because they have sinus issues going on. That's him just saying, I'm tired and I'm kind of bored. What are we doing? We doing something? That's him. That's it. And it's probably too his brother kept him up a lot last night. When they go out during the nighttime, during the day when they come in, they sleep all day. And so he will sleep all day because what happens is when they get out in the paddock at night, his brother will go to sleep, and so he will stand over him and watch him to make sure nothing happens to him, that no animal gets him or so forth. So he watches him. So when he gets in his stall in the mornings, it's night time for him. It's lights out. And he is laid out. I'm talking his whole little body is laid out. Now I can go in there with him when he's in a stall and he's sleeping and pet him. And he lets me pet him and rub on him. But I have another horse that's a big horse, and he'll let me go in there with him and pet him, and then I can lay out on him and just stretch out and pet him. And people will walk by, and they're like, she's laying on her horse. And I had this one man say, are you worried he's going to jump up and hurt you? I'm like, no, he's not going to get up until I get up. So once I get up, my horse gets up. But Knox don't want to have anybody laying on him. Say, but I'll let her pet me. You don't want to carry it? Okay.
How much sleep does he need?
They usually sleep a couple hours at a time. They take short naps throughout the day. A lot of times you'll see horses standing there. They close their eyes. They stand up sleeping. Some of them lay down. They get tired after a while standing up, so they will lay down. You just have to watch your horse and make sure your horse is not laying down too much because that means they're sick. They could have a stomach problem. They could have some problem. So you always watch your horse, watching the amount of sleep that they're getting, how much laying down they're doing. You try to keep an eye on that. If you see him, he's trying to play with his lead rope. And horses have, this is called a halter. And you have a dog and you put their collar around them. That's basically the same thing. And this is called a lead, where a dog, it's called a leash. Reason is, it's because you lead them, walk on. Nuh-uh. Walk on. See? Told you. Little kids, stubborn sometimes. He's 4. Walk on. Walk on. No, walk on. Come on. Walk on. Like I said, he is like a little kid. He has his moods just like y'all do, and he wants to do things sometimes when his mom tells him not to, that he don't want to do it. So he's just, like I said, he's like a little kid, and you have to work with him like a little kid. But he does eventually listen. But he's really good. Have another kiss? Thank you. I don't think I got enough. But he loves kissing people. Got any more questions? Everybody likes to give him treats. You have any questions? Anything you can think of?
Can we see you give him a peppermint?
Yes. I have Tic Tacs in the bag for him. He likes Altoids, he likes peppermints. Usually most of the nursing homes I go to have a treat ready for him. He's got a girlfriend at one nursing home that he sees, and she's not a patient there, she works there, and he knows that he's gonna get a donut at the end of his visit because she's gonna bring him one. So he gets so excited. He knows as soon as he sees her blonde hair, he knows her. He's like, she's gonna give me my donut at the end of the time if I'm good. So I got Tic Tacs. And you have to hold your hands a certain way so horses can grab things. You hold it out in your palm because they have little lips and they try to get it and you don't want them to bite you. So you hold your hand flat and you use it like that. He's crunching on them. Give him a few minutes and he's gonna stand there and y'all will see him sucking it. See? If you hear you can hear his mouth. If you stand close enough to him, you'll hear the sucking noise. Right now he's chewing. I was trying to let y'all hear the sucking noise. Maybe you can hear it. But, so that's what he's doing. He's sucking his mint. And like I said, a lot of times we'll go into a place and they're like, why is his tongue hanging out? And I'm like, because he's sucking on his mint. He's got fresh breath. See, say, isn't that cute? But he'll suck on, yesterday he had a pickle popsicle. And he had, like about that much. And he sat there and sucked on that thing for the longest time ever because he's like, that is so delicious. I just want more. Right now he's telling me he wants more. That's not his board sign. That's him telling me more. Oh, another one. Peppermint, please. And I only give him so many because, candy is bad for you and you only need so much candy. Or junk, period. So he's kind of like I said, a little kid. He's telling me, like I said, you have to hang around your horse to learn what they're telling you, but they're communicating with you, and they communicate with you in ways, if you pay attention, you're like, wow, I didn't even know that you could tell me that. I recently taught a racehorse, and she's gonna start her racing career. She started it, but she's really getting into it, and I have taught her, tell her, Libby, lips up, and she does like that, and I tell her, blow kiss, and she's doing it. And so I showed the owner that, no more, no, I'm sorry, no more. They're going away. Look, they're gone now. Sorry. See, kids, he wants more. And he's like, do y'all have some coffee, donut? What do you have? He didn't have breakfast this morning, so he's hungry. And he's like, he wants more. Okay, shake. Nice to meet you. Now that's something, when we go to nursing homes, that was the worst trick I ever taught him because he wants them to shake his hand. And he starts getting adamant about it. He keeps pawing because he wants them to shake his hand. And they have trouble bending down, so I have to bend down and shake his hand. And I'm finally like, nice to meet you, knock it off. Nice to meet you, knock it off, come on. But he wants to keep shaking because he's a social person. I tell people sometimes he's running for office. He's kissing babies and shaking hands. I don't know what office he's running for, but say it would be a good office, huh? So that's him still sucking on his mint, and he's perfectly happy with his mint. His brother does not do that. His brother chomps down on whatever food it is, swallows it, it's gone. Yep. And so, but he sucks on all his food after, well, it mainly mints, and his junk food, he'll suck on it. His horse food, nah, he just eats it. He eats it real quick. But if y'all see, Knox is only 30 inches tall. I'm bending down. I'm only 5'4", so I'm not very tall. And Knox is 30 inches tall. He's been this height probably since he was about a year and a half. He was about, He was about 45, 50 pounds when I got him. And right now he is at 167. And like I said, he probably needs to lose about 20, 30 pounds. Maybe not that much. Say at least 20 pounds. Say I got a little winter weight still. Huh, show me a happy face. He's got certain spots he loves to be scratched. Loves to be scratched. And that's why he's doing his lip like that, if y'all see that. He's doing his lip all crazy and he's showing his teeth. It's really funny. He's doing that because it feels good. And he's got, he likes his certain parts of his, yeah, I know that mint is really good, huh? I know. So he's got certain spots, just like kids or people. You got a spot that you just like to have scratched. That's him. So you find that spot and you make a happy horse. No more mints. We're done with the mint. We're done. But this is Knox, and my business is Serenity Sensory Healing. If anybody has any questions, you can contact the library, or you can look me up on Facebook. And Knox also has some Instagram that he posts. He does TikTok a lot. I've been doing TikTok videos with Knox and just barn animals in general. And we started getting into that and adding music to his little TikTok videos. So if anybody wants to start watching him there, y'all can do that too. And I usually hashtag Knox, the Kissin' Mini, because he kisses. And everybody, when you get a kiss, you get a sticker. And everybody loves them. Kids, adults. And when you get a kiss, the kids, I tell them, okay, you kissed him, now you get a sticker. Knox, can I kiss? Thank you. So what I would do for a kid was I would give them a sticker. And it says Kiss by Knox. The older people love them too. They line up for their stickers. So everybody likes them. He has been to Bass Pro, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ulta, the women's place, and he was really good in Ulta. And women flocked into that store. And the reason I brought him in was we had an event out here for a library. I think it was in Albany. And so we went to the event, and the parking lot was so packed, and I was worried about him being by himself in the trailer. So I'm like, I'll just put his shoes on. And I have a badge showing that he's certified to go anywhere, hospitals, anywhere. And, sorry, y'all, he's protesting and he wants food. He's like, I want it now, food. So I brought him in Ulta. I put on his shoes and brought him in, got what I needed. We stood in line. He stood there right there with me. People are taking pictures with him, hugging and kissing him. He loved it. He didn't mind a bit. And he didn't dig in the bins or anything, which is amazing because they have all those things up front. You go in Home Depot and those men run to him. I know, the mint was good and you're hungry, I get it. The men go crazy. You wouldn't think they would, but the grown men are taking pictures with them and sending it to their wives and their girlfriends and their kids, showing them what they've taken a picture of or what they saw. And so we have a lot of that. And sometimes I take him places, like I said, I take him to Academy. He's certified to go anywhere. And he is not my therapy pet. He is a therapy pet for everyone. And so people have a hard time understanding that part. They think that he's my therapy pet. But he is a therapy pet for everybody. So we go into Academy, and on occasion I'll catch things on Facebook, people saying, look at this woman with a horse in a store, and it's her therapy pet. And people will post, people I don't even know will say, no, she does that for everybody to pet and love and get the experience to feel the joy from them. And from then on, people are like, oh, can I just come and pet your horse? Sure, come to the barn. So the barn's open and he goes places. So if y'all want to see him, hopefully once all this virus and everybody's healthy and well, we'll be back out and doing things with the public, because he misses the public. He really does. He's been at the barn this whole time. So this is his first time out of the barn since January, which for him is a long time. Normally he goes places at least 2 to 3 times a week. Summertime is his busy time because kids are out of school and we do kids events. So he's one. Where are you gonna go? Here, take it. Where are you going? You gonna walk it? But this is Knox, so if anybody has any questions, you can send me questions on Facebook or you can send me questions, call me. I don't care either or, but this is Knox, the Kissin' Mini. Tell everybody bye, Knox. Okay. Bye-bye, kids. Bye. Bye. Kiss? Got a kiss? Are you gonna tell them bye? Thank you.